Morning, realness. Good morning. Happy Monday, I hope. It's the start of another week. Hey, yes, yeah, somebody, hopefully. I hope it gets better for you, okay? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Ace. I have returned once again. We're going to be doing, as you can see, the mesh now. We're going to be working on that. All right. I'm just going to get right into it. This is what I did. All right. We got all of the vertices on. I don't know if I try to get him as straight as possible. Basically, see he's kind of busting out of his little underwear there. We need to fix that. But yeah, we're going to get right into this. Okay. I think what I'm going to do from now on, now that we know that, well, at least we have an idea of how it's going to look when I use these as reference and draw a character for a webcomic. That's what I'm working on, by the way. I didn't do my normal intro today. I'm doing 3D meshes. Okay, I can't speak either. To use as reference for my webcomic, and this is also, practice. In another medium. This is a newly acquired skill that I've been working on, but I don't. I feel like I don't do it often enough. So what I'm going to start doing from now on is when I reach this stage of a mesh here, we're just going to start another mesh, and then when I copy and paste all the polygons off stream, I'm going to work on a whole new mesh. I only really need 7 characters done so I can start working on the pages. I edit the story as much as I can. Um, just some, just looking at everything, making sure everything makes sense. Proofreading it, making sure that things are clarified in the story without, dumbing it down. But I am pretty satisfied with what I have so far. So that's what we are hoping to do is to get to 7 characters and start doing the pages. And I think it'll probably just start off with just like practice sketches, like getting everything in order to how the pages are going to look, and then going back and putting in all the details later. Okay, I pretty much have an idea of what I want to do, so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm not very good at clothes, so this is gonna be like we're on the frontier here. Okay, I've done more than a few meshes when I was practicing this without clothes, and I did some very basic clothing. But as far as making it actually look like clothes, we're gonna start. I'm gonna be doing that from now on, and we're gonna start with this mesh and doing that. Okay, first we're gonna plug up his little nether regions here. Hopefully, we won't give him a freaking giant butt like I did when I first sculpted him. Ace only knows how to make naked people for reasons. Yeah, I only when I did this. When I started this, yeah, I practiced on naked people, and yes, they were women. Okay, why not? There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, nothing wrong with it. This is only my second male mesh. I did like 4 or 5 women when I practiced this, and I did do some clothes, but my clothes don't didn't have any pockets or any detail whatsoever. The most basic of clothes, kind of like this underwear. There's no seams or anything like that. I don't know how far I'm gonna go with the clothes, but we're going to get there somehow. Okay, we're going to get there somehow, and that's what we're going to try to do. Okay, looks like we already plugged in that little problem. All right, I have an idea of what to do. Um, but I'm gonna start with the boots. Okay, and he's gonna be wearing a uniform because he is a U.S. soldier in Vietnam War era. Okay, my story takes place or starts in 1972. Okay, so that's where it starts. It's more of a, it's like a alternate, it's in an alternate history. It's a contemporary story that takes, it spans like maybe like 30 or 40 years, I would say. Um, but that's where it starts, and that's where the first panel will be, in somewhere in Cambodia. And that won't have anything to do with the actual war itself. I have my own story that deviates from history, so that's just the backdrop. But that's where we're at. So that's where we're gonna try to clothe them in that. I've never done boots before. When I did my very basic clothing, um, I downloaded some free boots just to visualize the concept. This will be the first time actually creating them from nothing now. We don't want to take off the underwear. I don't know if Twitch will like that very much. I don't have the type of pull with Twitch that will allow that. Okay, let me see here. Just so I'm not confused, let's see. Body LP. There. This is the low poly body in green, and this is the high poly body that you've already seen. Okay, we're going to be, this is towards the final product here. It's much less polygons than this. And we're going to take all the details of this. As you can see, it has actual facial details here that I've worked out in drawings. I worked out how it's going to look. The way I did it was, I I do use actual people as reference, but I basically just mix and match features so that way there's no likeness and I don't get sued for anything. Okay. Um, but yeah, I did use people, and I basically make them as original as I can, but make them actually look like people. My As you saw, I think if you've seen any of the streams with the digital art that I did, the digital practice, it's not gonna look hyper realism. It's more semi realistic, but I do these meshes in realism. As far as how real, well, we'll get to that. Okay, we will get to that. And this needs to be smoothed out. It's not going to be all polygonal like this. I can smooth it out right now, actually. Let's see. We might as well do that. Thanks for this. I've It doesn't, it was, since I draw already, it wasn't too hard to grasp. I wish I kept my first uh, sculpt though, so I could show you. It looked like the moon from Majora's Mask, but worse, but way worse. It was literally a sphere with like a face carved into it, and it was bad. And I was I was so disappointed. Like that was my first attempt, and it was so bad that I just deleted it immediately. But I should have kept it. I normally don't. Um, you normally keep all of my stuff, all my recent stuff. When I was younger, I destroyed a lot of my art, but um, I wish I'd kept that. Let's see. Objects, select. Was it smooth? Was it this? Oh yeah, it was that. Okay, yeah. Are realistic 3D humans easier than artistic ones? With reference, yes, because all you have to do is just do what you see. There might be like, if you're good at that, you'll get it like fast. Like if you can like if your only talent was just like if you had a reference and you can copy the reference perfectly, then you're good basically. I can get it mostly. I've never. I mean, shoot, the last hyper realistic thing I did was I did some Street Fighter the movie art that I never posted. I never released it. Um, that was the last thing. But before that, I did a Bad Boys 2 uh, on paper, pencil and paper. That was my last one, or it may have been The Matrix Reloaded. I drew Neo once. I was in my old art. I lost that though, so I don't have it anymore. But would have never guessed. I'm hearing you talk through it. It makes sense. Yeah, it's yeah, because you can in with reference if you have like all the angles, like you could copy something like in 3D space. It's a little bit different. You can copy something from this perspective here, but then turn it, and then it won't look right. But if you have this angle, if you have this angle, this angle, every single angle, and you just slowly work around it, like I did on my in some of my previous streams, it'll all just come fall into place eventually. Just maybe you just need more than one angle than if you did like if you were just drawing a picture like this. Then you just copy this, you'll be fine. You can't spin it around. That's all it really is. That's all it really comes down to. That's really the only difference. And then with 2D, you're only going to do one plane at a time. So there's that. And you saw I had to do I do the heavy lines and grayscale and all that stuff. It's more of a stylistic choice. Here's realism. Okay. Okay, we're going to go back to this. Okay, I'm gonna make sure he still has his his trunks. Okay, are we good? I think we're good. I don't know why it's doing that though. Oh yeah, I know why. Because I have this in front, and now that I am streaming, I am afraid to uncheck. Actually, you know what? I can do this. Can't see anything from this angle. Okay, that's fine. Cool. All right, we're gonna get started now. I'm just gonna do the when you talk through it, it makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad it makes sense because sometimes when I feel like I'm explaining this, I feel like it doesn't make any sense when I say it because I feel like I have an unorthodox process, so I'm happy that it makes sense. And sometimes when I hear myself explaining, I'm like, what the hell? What am I talking It feels like it comes out jumbled. No, I don't know. Um, okay, we're gonna go into sculpt mode here, and we're gonna start doing the boots. Now it's really easy, and I could probably do all the clothes like this and save myself the trouble. But the method that I have chosen to do the clothes allows me to weird to. I explained these weird too. Yeah, I feel like I do things unorthodox sometimes, and it's kind of you know what I don't need to lasso that. We want to do box mask because boots should look the same on either foot. So that's what we're going to use that for something like a t-shirt, which we will do. Then you use lasso because that has very specific uh, lines that you use, like you do like a little concave here, and then you do a straight line here. So if you have two different shapes, then you just draw it. Maybe that's why I understand. As long as I make some sense, okay? I think boots should come up about right here. If they don't, it's fine. I can always adjust it when I'm actually drawing it. All right, so okay, I know what I did wrong. Let me go back into object mode, select the body, and then go back to scope mode. Okay, this is exactly why I want to drum these methods that I'm working through into my head. I took notes of like the parameters that I use, and um, I follow that stuff, but I want to have it in my head so that way I can just blaze through this and create these characters quicker so we can get to the actual comic. Okay, that should be good. What I have is yeah, but the method that I chose to make clothes, okay, allows me to have clothes be wrapped around this character and have natural wrinkles in them, so I don't have to sculpt them. That's plan A. If that doesn't work out for me, then plan B would be to do everything like I'm about to do the boots right now, which is basically just mask and then use the mask and just create a new mesh based on this mask and then just shape it. That's what I'm going to do right now. Okay. Okay, so we click mask and then mask extract like so. But first, uh, sharpen it so it's nice and straight. You'd only really need to do this when it's and it's gonna lag a little bit because I'm working on the high poly. We're at 12 million polygons right now, which I believe it's probably like on the level of like say a Street Fighter 6 character. Maybe they might have a little bit more, but we're starting to approach like a modern AAA game type deal. I won't be working with this much polygon. We're going to take these details and bake them onto the low poly that we made. Okay, so that way he doesn't look like a smooth, gummy victim. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It's all right. It's clearly not a accurate. What is this? What is up with those legs? Oh, that's. I think those are masks. After you create the clothes, where you save them like a digital wardrobe to reuse them, or you reuse later and make new clothes. Yep, that is exactly what I want to do. But right now, I need to figure out what in the world is wrong with, you know, object. Let me go back in the object mode real quick because I want to see what this is. I don't know what that is. It ain't gonna matter because he's gonna have clothes on, but and it's I'm kind of too far in to go back and fix anything. But I'm just trying to see what the heck. What is this? I don't know what this is. I don't know what happened here. Hang on. Let's see what the heck's. Oh wait, cancel that. Let's see. We're gonna go back. Yeah, because in my comic they're not gonna have all the same clothes. So what I'm going to have to do here is that should be fine. Not a he's not like he's hanging dong. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Object mode. Okay, apparently I did something because his legs are fine now. So and I didn't notice it. Yeah, I want to try to like as soon as I figure out how to make collars and things like that. Yeah, I'm definitely and I'm going to be working through that on the stream here. I'm going to figure out. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to revert because apparently I messed up the mesh somehow, and I'm trying to figure out I want to see what I did wrong here. Did it happen when I smoothed it? Is that what happened? Let's see. Okay, I smoothed his underwear instead, and it don't look smooth anyway. So let's see here. Object mode. Object. Okay, yeah, we're gonna be working. Oh, that's what it was. It was shade smooth. Okay, now I need to figure out why that happened. Okay, so we're not gonna worry about this right now. We're not gonna be working in this for a bit. I'll figure that out off stream. But yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the boops now. I just need to know why that happened because if I just leave that there and then keep going, then I'm gonna have to spend time fixing that, or at least that's an option. Like I said, he's gonna be wearing clothes, so at this point, if anything happens to the body, I could probably just cover it up with the clothes. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, we're gonna go back now to what we were doing. Sculpt. Yeah, I'm just gonna work through this. All right, create the boots. About right here. Now the biggest thing is I went ahead and did all of his toes here, so when I do this, I'm going to have to round all that out because now he's wearing boots. So that's going to be my biggest uh obstacle here. I've never done boots before. I've never done. Yeah, I've done a little bit of clothes, like I said, but not boots. I haven't done any shoes or footwear, so this will be my first time doing it. Let's see, mask, extract. I'm gonna uncheck this and hit OK. And it's gonna be a little laggy because I'm at 12 million polygons and I just cloned a portion of that, maybe about 7 million, I think. So we're gonna have to lower that. We're gonna have to remesh that before we go on, so that way we don't have to worry about doing this. Hopefully it doesn't crash. I don't want to do this on the low poly mesh because the lines won't be straight. Okay, it's actually 1.5 million or around there, somewhere around there, 1.5 to 3. Okay, as long as I can control this thing, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to save this just in case it decides to crash. It's just this program. I didn't have. That's the one thing I didn't have to worry about this with in ZBrush. I could go as high as I want. Can't do that in Blender, and it's a little different. So that's why I'm working through this again. I've never made clothes in ZBrush either, though. So there's that. Uh, hang on. Do what we did last time. That's body LP. That's like an entire PS2 game worth of polygons. Yeah, it's getting a little beefy. That's why we already made the body LP. Now I need to make the high poly clothing and then make low poly versions of the clothes. But it won't be like we did with the body where I had to do that off stream. I can do that with a click of a button. The only problem is the method of doing that. I couldn't use that on the body because they would look like they were melting. And I tried to make it work, but it would be like 137,000 polygons if I did it that way, as opposed to the 14,000 polygons that I did by hand. So I think it's a better option to just do that manually. But I can probably get away with it with the clothes. We'll see. All right. I don't think there's let me see. You know what I'm going to do? I should remesh this now. I'm gonna remesh it now. This is not remesh. This is remesh. I was trying to see if I could remesh it over here, but I have this add-on here that just it's a lot like Z remesher, which is what I'm used to. But it doesn't work the same actually. So where is my options? Oh, I know. It's probably because I'm not in sculpt mode. That might, yeah, that was actually it. Okay, sculpt mode. Let's see. Do I want to do that? I kind of want to remesh it so it's not 1.5 million polygons. That's already too high. So yeah, you know what? I can always revert it. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take all that data and take it down to 3,000 and see what happens. I thought I did select something. Program. Okay, just want to make some boots. Okay. Okay, that doesn't look so bad. Now it's what? Now it's about the same as my low poly mesh. All right, we're going to attempt to sculpt something now. Finally. All right, so I'm going to inflate everything. Okay, that way it'll look like those socks that some people wear that look like your feet. It's just socks that complete like they have little toe pockets for all your toes. It looks like a foot. Those socks look weird, man. I don't know. If I was gonna wear some socks like that, I would only wear them around the house. I can't see myself wearing those outdoors. Okay, and we have a very low poly version of his regular feet there. All right, now we can see. I think we can see everything that we need to see. You can see there's a little bit of deformity with the toe, but like I said, it's not gonna matter because he's wearing boots. We're not gonna see his toe. We need to undo this for the boot. So I'm going to try to grab inside the little crevices here and pull them out. That's what I'm going to try to do. Well, maybe not like that. All right, let me pull this. Oh wait, you know what I should do? I'm going to take the radius down a little bit. Vietnam vets all have messed up toes. I don't think you'll actually. I'm trying to think. You might see this person's feet like maybe like once or twice, and that's it. I so this isn't is it, it's not in. I don't think it's gonna be. It's not important to the story. It's just the state of dress that he's in at that in those scenes. I think one is he's gonna be like in a hospital, and the other is like uh maybe like in a bathroom or something. I don't know, but I may not even draw. I mean, those are the only two situations where I could see you would be able to see his feet, but I don't. I still don't have to draw them, so it's just that. It's just an option. Like it's not like he's required to have his shoes off. I don't think anyone in my webcomic is, to be honest. No requirement for that, but we'll see. You never know. I don't know. Some things might change on the fly. Right now, I'm just trying to get these toes out so I can round them and turn them into boots. We don't make them too long because then it'll look like you'll have clown shoes on. I just want to get these little crevices out so I can smooth them. Best way to do that would be to remesh it, but I'm not sure if I can combine the two methods of remeshing, which is why I was wondering if I should bother doing it over here in this menu as opposed to using the add-on. I tested that before. It seemed like it didn't work as intended. So I'm wondering if there's an issue with that, but we'll find out. We're on the frontier now. We're working things out that I have never done before. We're going to learn along the way right now. So I'm just trying to figure out right now how I'm going to do footwear. If I can do a boot, then I should be able to do a sneaker or anything else, really, in theory, anyway. It looks pretty bad. It looks like someone smashed all of his toes until they're just flat like dough, with like a mallet or something. I just want to get them risen over the toes a little bit and round them out in the front. Creature of the Black Lagoon toast. Yeah. Now I am looking at a reference of boots. Okay. We're going to need the reference for this. I don't remember how much toe room you have, so I'm trying to avoid making them too long. Like I said, I don't want them to have clown shoes. But they're about this round, I would say. We're gonna try to remove the form of the foot out of this mesh, so that way we can turn them into a boot. We really want to round out the front here. So what we're going to try to do, we're going to attempt to do that. Okay. All we really need to do, I guess that's fine. We're just trying to get the basic shape. I'm wearing boots right now. I have about half an inch of toe space. Okay, so let's see. It's more like an inch. We can adjust it as soon as we get the basic shape of a boot. It's about an inch, inch and a half, I would say. We did rescale this to real world size. He is. Hey, studio. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. We're going through I just submitted our game to the game jam. So excited. Yeah, I assumed those questions you asked me were about a mermaid game, because I don't think I've seen you say anywhere that that's what you were doing. I just knew you were doing a game jam. That's cool. I hope the suggestions helped in some way, or at least gave you an idea to use something better, because I felt like those were not like those weren't my best ideas. Like I was struggling to come up with those those puns. I hope that they led to something. What happens if I smooth this out? Okay. They were good, but I didn't have time to change it. So try again. It's still in there. Yeah, I was like, I hope that they don't use these, because I don't. These weren't like, I didn't put a lot of thought to them, and I was struggling to come up with that. But that's good as long as you got to the end, right? They have a completed project. All this. I think uh things like the dressing, I would say, at the end. You don't want to always skip that part too much, because I know there's a point where you're just like, okay, I just got to release it. But I feel like a lot of companies are leaning into that more and more. Just release it and fix it later. If there is one lesson I've learned from AAA, is to not do that all the time, if at all. If I can help it, just not do that. Like, try to avoid doing that. But yeah, it's good that for a game jam, it's a little different. You kind of work on a time crunch. It's 10 toes down. Yeah, we're trying to deform the foot here to make it like a boot. So here's his real feet here. Well, I didn't put a lot of detail into them, because I can just draw that in as long as they look somewhat like a foot. And this will be his boots over the feet. All right, let's try to get rid of. See, okay, see, we can't do that. We have to remesh it before we can do things like that. Okay, no problem, studio. Thank you. Look out for a Discord announcement when the games are open to rate. Okay, no problem. I definitely will do that. All right, so I think we should try to remesh it now. Whoa. Whoa. What is that? Okay, let's bring down the voxel size before we remesh it. Let's try 1.5, see what happens. Okay, that's not it's a little too basic. Although it is smooth at the top and the bottom, but we won't be able to do much with this. Maybe we could actually, and then just try to remesh it to where it has more. As long as we can, yeah, maybe this could work actually. You know what? Let's try it. This is we're on the frontier here. Okay, we're gonna figure this out somehow. Regardless is this, you're gonna see the types of things that I do off stream now. Okay, because I gotta learn it at some point. We're gonna figure it out. Figure it out. But without the slime, ain't gonna be no slime in this figure it out episode or questions or anything. Well, unless you ask a question. That's the only question. There won't be any slime. There's no buckets of slime waiting. No Danny Tamborelli. All right. No Lori Beth Denberg. None of that. But we are going to figure it out. That I can promise you. Summer Sanders. Man, I have not seen Summer Sanders in years. I think she went on to actual sports. I remember hearing about that, reading about that. I don't know in what capacity. I think maybe is it journalism? Maybe not. I don't know. But I know that she's been on camera. She's still on camera in some way. I just don't know what she does now, but she does actual sports stuff. And I think she was in I think she was like a swimmer or something. I don't know. I don't really remember the details. She's an Olympic swimmer before. Yeah, right. Yeah, they never said that. I think that's something they should have said. Olympic swimmer. Olympic swimmer Summer Sanders something. That would have been nice to know as a kid. Like, oh, cool. They kind of undersold her a little bit there. I had no idea, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get his little, I don't know, his little elf-looking shoes out here, and then we're gonna try to. I just want the basic shape, so we're essentially just, as far as the polygons are concerned, we're starting over. But I feel like normally when you lower the number, you get more polygons, but I don't know, maybe I gotta erase them. As long as it doesn't look like a foot, that's all I need right now. We're gonna figure it out. It looks very, very, very basic. I found a method people use online to do like a retro style of texture. They're coming someone is making there's another game based on GoldenEye nostalgia that's come out that someone is making. It's called Deep State, and they're kind of doing their own they're doing their own like GoldenEye type game, and apparently there's this old method of texturing 3D models in that way. So if I ever wanted to do that, now I know I have the means to learn it. I don't know if I would ever use something like that for a game. I know there's a lot of games out there that purposefully have a retro feel like all of Puppet Combos games, which he does. He did the things like Power Drill Massacre, Babysitter Bloodbath. Is very horror esque. VHS, like a very retro feel to them. They look like you're viewing them through an old VCR. They have like the all the artifacts and whatnot, and the tracking lines, things like that. He does like a PS1 retro horror, but it's a modern game. But it has that look. It has the look of the PS1 era games. I like them because they're so ridiculous. They're very over the top. See, this is not symmetrical over here, so we're going to see if we can style the boot on this foot and hope that it fixes on the other foot. We're going to have to remesh it again at some point. I don't know what's going on back here, but can we work with that? We're going to find out. I think you suddenly made me want to do digital cinematography. Oh, yeah? I don't know what goes into that. Digital, like as in CGI? Or like like how they superimpose things into the onto the screen, things like that. Like it's like Neil Breen type stuff. I think Neil Breen's latest movie was just it's basically just actors digitized on Shutterstock backgrounds and it just resized to try to fit. It looks terrible, but um yeah, he's known for that. So people like kind of like unironically like it. Instead of making a retro looking game, maybe you use that effect for something on a TV screen. Oh, like uh, that effect for something on a TV screen. Yeah, I'm trying to think like what could you use that for? You mean like a logo or something? Maybe like an intro to a video. I'm sure those apply to digital cinematography in some way. Oh yeah, we were supposed to remesh this. I just kept I just kept manipulating it. Uh, am I getting more here? Okay, it looks a little more. Little. Wait, hold on. 788. No, actually, I have less polygons now. Like how you watch a movie in color and then watching TV and it's in black and white with tracking lines. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're definitely doing that in these retro style games too. And well, at least Puppet Combo is. I know that's a whole thing. And I know there are other people that are also inspired by that, and they're doing it as well. I don't know if he's the one who started doing that first, but he definitely has that style down. Everything's very retro. All the games take place in the time where all of this is still existing. 90s, 80s, 70s, VCRs, all the even the menus look like if you press like the mode button or something on a remote and or on a TV and you have to select the menus. They all have that weird computer font. I don't know what they call. I'm pretty sure that font has a name, but things like that. Yeah, I'm sure there's a show that does that. I just don't. I can't think of any because I haven't really been watching anything. Kind of like how well, I guess I don't actually don't remember if this was the case, but I think didn't Bandersnatch on Netflix do something like that? Because they had the whole retro Atari thing, like horror game. I'm pretty sure that well, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. I know they had some multimedia stuff that tied into that show or interactive movie. I don't know. It was a lot like a video game to me. It was like an FMV game, but for Netflix. Yeah, it's basically a Netflix show, but you get to choose what happens, and it plays out just like an FMV game. It was actually pretty interesting, and you're in a time loop. The character is in a time loop, and so if you like fail or reset, then you basically go back. But I guess it's implied that you have the knowledge of what you did on a different path, and then you're back to square one. It's kind of like a Groundhog Day type deal. It's all the background stuff viewers don't actually notice, but still creates meaning. Yeah, really selling the retro vibe. I know most people probably never even seen the tracking lines on the VCR at this point. And maybe that's a good thing. It's that I don't miss that at all. That's one thing of VCRs. You don't have to worry about um your phone eating the movie like a VCR would, right? A VCR would eat the tape or a cassette tape. Radio with a cassette tape. You put it in. It's your only copy, and then suddenly your VCR just decides to just rip out all the film and tear it, and now you have nothing. Now you can't watch The Last Boy Scout anymore. Okay, now you can't watch it anymore because your VCR decided that it was going to destroy it. And it's a pretty very 90s movie, very 90s action movie with Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis. And your VCR took that away from you. And yes, that did happen. I had a VCR until 3, 4 years ago when it ate my Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but you never know when it's gonna happen, but it will happen. It's like you have to enjoy the time that you got with your VCR. Okay, we'll try to move the basic shape of the boot a little bit more. I'm not really sure if I'm doing the right thing here, but we're going to figure it out because that's the name of the stream is figure it out. I should name the title figure it out. Yeah, yeah. It was it was nice finally switching to DVD because I had a VCR pretty late too. Not as late as you, but I would say around 2003. It was still fairly common. I think the last VCR movie was A History of Violence, which was in 2005. That was the very last one that was made for very last movie that was made for in VCR. So you still had some time back then, but I went around 2003. I had a DVD player. I had my PS2. Well, I had my PS2 in 2002. So I guess that would be the year that I finally switched over. I'm pretty sure my VCR. Well, no, we had one of those DVD slash VCR combos, so we still technically had a VCR, but that wasn't the one that ate my videos. So and I had Bad Boys 2 and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Those were my first two DVDs that I bought, movie DVDs. Oh my gosh, this is very we're just gonna roll with it, man. I never, like I said, it was only a matter of time before we got to a point where we had to figure things out on stream. I'm just gonna do it, okay? I'm just trying to make some boots here, and we're going to do it. What is this? Where's the boots here? What happened to the boots? I can't even stretch it up. Well, I can stretch it up, but all right. Well, I guess we'll just stretch it up. I had boots up there. Now it's going to be asymmetrical. I kind of want to back up, but I'm not going to back up. We can fix that's something that can be easily fixed. So I'm not going to try to control Z that, although I should, to be honest. It should not. Yeah, you know what? We want to keep the general shape of the boot, not, I don't know what the heck that is. How far back can I go? It's technically symmetrical, but no, we're going about this all wrong. I don't think this is the method that we're going to be using. I'm going to try to make it work, but I'm already seeing problems that it's going to just cause more problems. But I think we can easily fix this. Honestly, I think if I pulled up the sharp ends here and just cut it off when I have enough polygons and make it straight again, that could be one way of fixing it. It's not a deal breaker. It's just more work. And since I don't have a method of making footwear yet. That's the method we're going to do until we streamline it and make it better, make it more efficient. So we're going to go back. Can't expect to do everything perfect on the first try. Okay. I have a little bit of perfection issues sometimes, but um, sometimes I just forget things. Like there were still some steps for my digital piece that I did not do that I meant to do. I didn't do any of the color zones on the face and the background. I didn't put a lot of effort into the background, which both of those things will be done before I post that picture somewhere. But yeah, if it's not forgetting something, then it's like trying to do too much. I think you have to try to minimize those issues for the future. Yeah, we'll just cut it off like right here. Now I just need to figure out how to get more polygons here. I think this should be it, but you never know. Okay, that was it actually. I think we have a little too much polygons there. Let's see. What was it? I think it was at 7 or something like that. Let's make it. I don't know why it's in feet. I hope that's not like. I'm pretty. Yeah, we resized this, so it should be fine. Yeah, we'll go 6. All right. All right. So we're on the right track again. So apparently you can mix the two. We're good. We're cool. We're good. I can work with this. Everything's fine as long as I can get back into something that I do know. We'll be all right. So we're gonna just keep working on the basic shape now, and not try to keep starting over. That's not how I want to do the stream. I did do a refresher on the clothing that I did last week, trying to figure out how I was going to display this. But I have two different methods. I can do this, but for the pants, the shirt, and whatever, like this, like I'm doing the boots now, and then I'll just have to like, if I want to make it look kind of like actual clothes, then I'll just have to do all the wrinkles, all the natural flow of the wrinkles myself with a brush, or use this garment tool here and just wrap some cloth like some simulated cloth around the character and use those wrinkles. So the clothing shouldn't be too bad, which is why I'm doing the boots first because I don't know how to do the boots. I just want to. I'm trying to see where. Okay, I guess it just ends there. So I should. So I'm going to bring down the top of the boot like this, trying to make them not look like cowboy boots. Although I think cowboy boots would probably be easier to make because they don't have. Well, I don't know. I don't think I've seen cowboy boots up close, to be honest. But it's pictures, so there's that. All right, we have something here. Now I'm gonna try to increase this arch of the boot here, okay? And the toes actually don't touch the ground. You can see our character's toes here is right there. So yeah, that's about, I would say that's about an inch. Maybe I don't have to shrink it as much. We need to bring the sole down because I don't want his feet popping out from the bottom there like that. Like he ran the soles off of him. So increase the radius of my brush here. Pull out the soles here. Okay. I think that will work. And we did the rounded part. I think they're I think this is accurate to boots. I don't want to keep rounding them because then we'll just make them bigger and eventually they're going to look like clown shoes. So we don't want to do that. Going to do, we're going to arch this. I want to bring the toes up, the toe of the boot up because that's not touching the ground. Yeah, something like that. Higher though, it's actually higher than that, which is I never noticed that. And I actually wore these boots. You don't feel that when you're actually wearing them. They're pretty thick. Uh, a pair of I don't know. I don't know how Doc Martens feel. Pretty sure we didn't have Doc Martens on, but they look similar enough, so maybe they are similar in that way. All right, so we're gonna. Okay, I guess proportions okay. You can always adjust them. I guess even if I made them a little bit oversized, aren't Doc Martens for old people? No. Lots of different people wear Doc Martens. And it's big on the punk scene, skinhead scene, all the musical subcultures, very popular with Doc Martens. Yeah, it's a very, very popular type of boot for certain groups. Oh, Hush Puppies. Whoa, that is like super different. It's like comparing Nikes to Uggs. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, that's about the basic thing, basic size of the boot. I would say can't make them any skinnier than that because I'll clip through the guy's freaking shins there. This needs to be fixed, but we can fix that. They both go on your feet, and I don't wear them close enough. Yeah, yeah, they do have that in common. You say hush puppies? I don't even remember what hush puppies look like. To be honest, bro. All I see now are Crocs. I did see some Uggs. I don't think people wear Uggs as much anymore now, though. They were pretty big when I was getting out of school, but things come back. If they're not already, I'm pretty sure people will start wearing chokers again. Oh, you know what I didn't get? I didn't get the back view of a boot, which would be very helpful. We're just gonna widen them for now. uh, yeah, I forgot to get the back view. Do I have a, or did I? No. Hang on. I kind of need that. I got some references of Vietnam era army uniform and three angles of the boot, except the back, except the rear view. That was an oversight on my part. I thought I got everything that I needed. Just type vintage combat boot back view. Hopefully, I can find that on Google. Yeah, I guess so. Sorry, my tablet's in the way. That's why I'm like trying to see around my screen. My tablet kind of when I pull my tablet all the way out, it comes over my screen a little bit. I don't have a lot. I need a bigger L desk. I actually have my legs on part of the desk too. Like my legs are kicked up. I'll be big chilling when I use my computer. You'll probably see it more when I start playing video games because I won't have a tablet in the way. So, okay, I don't see any back. I thought I saw a back view, but no, I don't see a back view. I just need a back view. Okay, that's good enough, I guess. We got a back view. We got a back view, everybody. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, well, now we're going to return to actually sculpting. It's nice to visualize it. I'm not going to try to memorize what it looks like because it's not going to come out right. Because I'm using a reference for the front and the side. The back ain't going to be as good if I just try to wing it. I don't want to wing it. You want to have something accurate. Even though I don't think there's going to be any focus on his boots, to be honest. It could, but this is good practice for just sculpting in general. So, uh, okay. Now what I need to do is I need to lower my brush here so I can get a good. You want to make it nice and round back there. Okay, and it doesn't look symmetrical, but even though I have symmetric mesh symmetry on the axis, x-axis, which would be horizontal, turned on. That's the only one you need. I don't know if there would be a reason to do Y or Z. That would be a little weird. I'm sure there is. Like maybe if you're like doing like a shuriken or something, I guess you could do it that way. You could do like a Z, that's would be top and bottom. So you could do the bottom blade and the top blade would be the same. Or X, of course X for the horizontal blades. Yeah. So there has its uses, I'm sure, but for a human, probably won't need anything like that. You just stick to the X for a human. The feet do not look anywhere near like the head, unless you're making some kind of abomination. We only somewhat match on the X-axis. Okay, so let's see the front now. Front view. Hmm. You can match the uh, the angle of the picture exactly. So that's why it's good to have a decent reference for 3D. This is what one of the references at this angle here, so I could just follow that. Bring this out some. And it's not so different from the shape of the foot, so you don't have to do too much stuff. Just get rid of the toes and round them out, round them out big time, and you'll have a higher arch from this part to the actual shoe. I'm sure all these have the anatomy of a shoe. I'm pretty sure they have names like this part and this part, but I've never looked that up. Actually, I don't know if that's. I'm sure they all have names though. We got it's the sole and the heel or whatever. I don't know. Shoestring. I'm sure shoes have an anatomy too, in a way. I don't know what it is. I'm not a cobbler. All right. All right. So the basic shape is coming out pretty well. I would say, at least in my opinion, for someone who's never sculpted a boot before, they don't look hard. Of course, they're like really loose socks, but really loose socks. Heel, toe, tongue, sole, and the body flaps. Yeah, yeah. I remember tongue and all the all the other four there. Body flaps, I have no idea. I don't. Yeah, tongue flaps. I guess insoles, right? That would be the inner sole, and then you have the sole at the bottom. I don't know. You know, I never worked at. They teach like, is that something they would teach at Foot Locker? You know, probably not. I don't. I don't even know why I said that. Probably not. But you know, if they have like a chart in the back somewhere, where you know they teach some high schooler like, you know, here's your referee uniform. All right, this is what you need to know about a shoe, and then they're just pointing on the wall. Well, I guess they would put a VCR tape in and show like a training video these days, right? And they were doing that back then too. It's not like a new thing, but the whole school training, you know, it would help, right? You know, most people don't pay attention to that. I think that would be actually helpful. I don't know though. Maybe not. You know, people just go in and buy shoes, and you know, it gets fitted for shoes, and they just leave, or they get the little spray to keep them white. You get your shoe strings, you get your socks, you get your t-shirts, maybe jerseys, but mostly shoes. Like, I don't know. I've never worked at a Foot Locker, so I don't know what they teach besides how to use the little measuring metal thing. It's pretty much a weapon. I bet there's a corporate training video out there somewhere. Yeah, probably. I've only seen. Um, I noticed that a lot of training videos have dancing in them, which is weird to me. I've seen Dunkin' Donuts. I've seen Best Buy, and I've seen Wawa. All of them have dancing. Oh yeah, 80s, yeah, Wendy's training videos too. Yeah, I've seen those too. I remember the guy, the hot drinks guy, the cold drinks girl. Yeah, hot drinks. Yeah, there's actually, there's, they, some streamers keep that alive. They have that, in their little uh streaming, you call whatever you would call it. It's a part of their streaming identity. They've used that. Like, I've seen people with that emote, like they have that guy of an emote with the drink. And people actually have the video in full, like either as a be right back screen or an alert of some kind. It's very catchy. And yes, that's another one that has dancing, and I don't know what it is, but that guy, I think he still does. That guy's like a some kind of local singer in I think local to Ohio, I believe. He's like a local musician or something like that. Yeah, we're just gonna have to cut this out. I don't know why it's not symmetrical though, but it don't really matter because, like I said, we can just fix it. We could just stretch it up like this and then cut it down later. Or I can attempt to straighten it manually, but then it won't be symmetrical. I don't. You're not gonna see the top of this anyway because I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna have the pants like below, like around the top to to appear like they're tucked in. So I think he sings for a church or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The person that had that on the stream, they were telling me like, oh yeah, this guy, yeah, he still does this type of stuff, and they had the links and everything. Like, they were like blowing them up. So I was like, oh shoot, they real fans of this person. I don't know how one would see something like that without working there, but I mean, maybe that's what they did. But he seems to be very popular because of that Wendy's video. And people they were saying like, yeah, he's super cool and everything. I was like, oh wow, dang, all right, cool. If you ever see me use that Michael Jackson emote in 99 stream, that guy has hot drink stuff in his stream. They kept gifting me subs, so I always had access to those emotes. I think I still do have access to those emotes because I'm. But yeah, I could. Well, yeah, I probably could post it. post that. I don't know how to do a. Can you do an emote through OBS? I can't do I can't do an emote in a stream chat through OBS, but the next time 99 streams and you're there, I'll show you the emote. It's like a speed runner. He does like speed running game. He's been like slowly doing variety stuff, but he's known for speed running. I saw him on GDQ once. He seemed like a pretty cool streamer. He was speed running Jurassic Park with Genesis. I don't think I've ever played that version of Jurassic Park. I always wanted to, but I used to see it in GamePro, but I never got around to playing it. Looks like a hard game. I'm a pretty big fan of Jurassic Park. That's one of the things that I didn't play though. Is the Sega or the I played the Super Nintendo one. That actually is hard, but that has a pretty decent soundtrack. Is the Genesis the overhead first person shooter? Nope, that's the SNES. I was just talking about that, and that has a great soundtrack. By the way, I really enjoy the soundtrack of that game. I did play that version, but that's nothing like the Genesis version. He runs the Genesis versions of those games. Yeah, I played it. It's definitely hard. And then on top of that, you got like 100 like dinosaur eggs that you gotta find or something like that. It's like 100 of them. It's like well, it's not unheard of, right? I think Donkey Kong had the DK symbols. Uh, Super Mario had those little dragon coins. Like collectibles were starting to become a thing in games, and that definitely has collectibles. But it's not easy. It's not as easy. At least you can see where the coins are on the screen, right? When you play Mario or Donkey Kong. I think doesn't Yoshi's Island or something like that have a collectible of some kind? I don't know. I'm sure they do. That was more like a Super Nintendo thing. I can't think of right now of a Genesis game that has that kind of collectible in a game because normally you don't save your game on a Genesis. Like a lot of Genesis games don't have. Oh, I guess Chaos Emeralds would be the Genesis version of a collectible, right? But there's only like 6 or 7 of them. Yoshi's Island, you got to beat each stage while finding everything and taking no damage. Oh man, I I tried Yoshi's Island. I'm sure I could do it. Did I beat Yoshi's Island? I'm not sure actually. I remember playing it though. I like Yoshi's Island. I think I'm not like a big fan of Yoshi, but I do like Yoshi's Island. The Sega or sorry the Super Nintendo one. Anyway, that's the only one I've played. I know they have a Yoshi's Island too, or Yoshi's Story or something like that. And then there's the 64 run that we were watching 99 play. I haven't played that one either. Okay, we gotta make the boots round around the top there. Just trying to get the shape. I think I could just move on from this now. I don't think I don't think there's any more basic shape to do at this point. I love Yoshi's Story. Nobody else does though. Everyone loves Island. I don't remember Yoshi. They both have the baby in them, right? The baby Mario, where you got to get him, and he's like, oh, he's in the bubble. They keep knocking him off, trying to take him. Or is that just the first one? I don't remember. They really put the adult fear in kids, huh? Not something you expect in a video game. Like, oh no, I gotta save Mario. He's in trouble. Oh my god, the baby's crying. I gotta get him, and then they try to stop you from getting him. I remember that very well. It can be somewhat panic inducing, kind of like Sonic drowning, the Sonic drowning noise, where you're like, oh no, I gotta find some air now. I'm dead. I would say Yoshi's the baby Mario crying It's probably very close to that of that mechanic. I'm gonna take this down. Okay, we got to make the bottom flat. We gotta, I think, it doesn't have to be super accurate because we can just draw it. We can draw it accurate at the end of the day, but just want to get some dang boots on this guy so we can go on, right? Some ding dang boots. I'm gonna start laying in the groundwork for soul here. Maybe a little too. Yeah, okay. Let's see, try to get the little rubber sole around the edges here. Is it even doing anything? Can't tell. Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's, yeah. I've only played Yoshi's Island. I don't really remember Yoshi's Story or if I played it or seen it, unless that's a 64 one. I'm not sure. I get them all. There's two or three, right? I don't know. Don't know. I knew one of my friends had Yoshi's Island. That's how I played it. If 99 had it back then, which I'm sure he had, I didn't see him play it. I'm going to assume that it's doing something. I don't really know. Can't really. Yes, I guess. I guess it is. We might need to remesh this again in order to get the proper shape for that. But fear not, we can do something else until then, which would be got to make this more round too. The bottom, we can flatten the bottoms. That's always an option. Flatten the bottom and round the top. Look like I'm doing anything though. I can't really tell. I can't do I'm on the right thing, right? It's just hard to see, I guess. Make it nice and round, not lumpy. I was more of a DK guy. I played, well, not sure if I played the. Actually, I don't know if I played the first Donkey Kong Country, but I definitely played two and three. I remember that two and three. Those were yeah, those were pretty fun. It wasn't too hard to get the coins for that or whatever the heck else they had. Donkey Kong Country used to scare me as a kid. Yeah, it does have a very like dark looking world. Like everything's all in shadow and the wood. It looks very it has a very gothic look. Wood, like old wood, and like something that doesn't seem like a fun time for Donkey Kong, but yeah, yeah. And then the boss music was all serious for one of them anyway. I don't remember which one. I definitely want to play through those again. Like I remember that. I remember enjoying those games a lot. So I wouldn't mind playing those. Oh my gosh. Why when I add clay that it just destroys the top? I don't get why that happens. All right, we're just gonna have to go about that a different way. You see, there's still some things I do not understand. Hopefully, in time, we will understand. do is I'm gonna pull that out, right? So what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna try to do the soles and all the little, little grooves and whatnot under the bottom there, but we got to make it look flat, like a sole would, not like a sock. Oh, I guess we could make it look like a sock and then just make it, give it a shiny texture, and then just draw in all of the things. But if I ever want to use these meshes or like do a mesh for something like a game or an animation, and it, I want to treat this as the final result, then I'm going to need to learn how to do this. So we're going to try to limit our shortcuts here. Okay, let's start. Okay, let me try to inflate the top here. Are we good here? What in the world? Okay, yeah, yeah. I can see the little subtle changes. What if I try to smooth it? Okay, yeah, that's definitely noticeable. Keep the round shape of the front of the boot. Yeah, I played the one with the baby, it was the baby Donkey Kong and the girl Donkey Kong. I think that was the two Diddy's Conquest and Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. I remember playing those. I would have to play the first one again to see if I actually played it. I'm not sure. The area with that time period was weird because I was jumping back and forth from 2D to 3D. I actually got really late into the fifth generation. Like I had my own fifth generation console in like 98, but I remember playing uh PlayStation and 64 as early as what 90, oh no, 96 I would say. I know they all came out in like around 95-ish, but my friends had them first is what I'm trying to say. So I mainly played it through them until I got my own. And I remember there were times where I would play things like Donkey Kong, and then one of my friends would be kind enough to let me borrow their console, and I would play Resident Evil. Well, that was in '98. Diddy Kong Racing, and then once that was over, and I'd be back in 2D again. And it really didn't. It wasn't like super jarring, I guess. I didn't find it jarring. But once I had my own console, I definitely played my old consoles a lot less after that. It's different when you have a choice. When you finally do have a choice, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just play the new stuff and not the old stuff. But even with the old stuff, I missed out on a lot of classics. Like I never played Chrono Trigger. Uh, there was a there's definitely and I gotta play that. Never played Earthbound. I did try them. I tried them for a couple minutes, but um at the time I could not fully commit because because of my work. But I do want to play those games at some point, and they are fun. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with them or anything. It was not never. I just the people that I knew did not have those games. I knew of the art of Chrono Trigger. I actually drew Chrono before I knew where he was from because I saw him so much in the game magazines. I was like, oh, that's a cool design. I'm just gonna draw that, and didn't know anything about it though. Okay, so see this area down here. I know Earthbound was kind of rare. Yeah, I heard of it, but I knew nothing. You know what? I think Earthbound was the one that had those. Do you remember in magazines where those scratch and sniff? That's what they're called. The scratch and sniff things. Earthbound had a advertisement that was a scratch and sniff advertisement. No, wait, what's it? Or was that Clay Fighter? I don't remember anymore. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Oh, okay, so it was Earthbound. Okay, 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 okay. I knew it was either Earthbound or Clay Fighter, but you can scratch it and smell it, and it had like a weird smell. I don't even remember what it was, but I do remember that. But I didn't. The concept of RPG was very foreign to me at that time. My first RPG was Buck Rogers Countdown to Doomsday. I didn't play that until like '97, or it was a '96 actually. It might have been '96 or '97. But that's how I got into RPGs. That was a 1991, maybe before that game. Maybe both. Definitely Earthbound though. Yeah, that's what I thought. I distinctly remember that because all the game pros I had, I read them more than once. That was my bathroom reading sometimes. So I remember a lot of the stuff that were in those magazines at that time. I definitely remember that. Earthbound had a giant box that nobody wanted to stock. Oh yeah, what did it come with a toy or something or a collectible statue or something like that? My introduction to what Earthbound was came with Smash Brothers Melee. I started to learn more about that game through Smash Brothers. And then eventually I was like, okay, well, let me try the ROM. And I tried the ROM for, it was probably more than a few minutes. I got up to the cult that dressed in blue. I don't know how far in the game that is, but I was very amused by that game. That game is definitely very entertaining. Very strange too. It's not your conventional RPG tropes and archetypes. I think it came with the guide, but it's freaking huge. If you see one in IRL, you'll probably think it's an ad, but that's the actual boss. Oh, okay, huh? Yeah, I think the boss was some kind of alien or something. I know that much, but I don't know if that was like a one of those statues that you get in Melee in Smash Brothers Melee, where you can I don't know, you put the coin in the machine, you get the toy out or whatever. I think the boss of that game was one of the toys, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong though. But I played Ness and Lucas a lot in the Smash Brothers games, so that's what I know. And then of course there's the stage and all that. Definitely an interesting game. Interesting enough to want to give it a full playthrough. And one day I will do that. These kind of look like clown shoes, but let's see here. Let's go out. Let's zoom all the way out. Okay, they're not big enough to be clown shoes. I think those look typical. Like we can shrink those down if they turn out to be super big. The free ones that I had downloaded when I was learning uh sculpting, those were huge. They were over as big as a person. I had to scale them down, and they didn't fully fit my character because um they were just boots that were made. I don't think they were made to fit anyone, but I tried. I had to make them oversized in order for my mesh to not clip through. I was like, well, yeah, whatever. I'll just draw them the correct size when I use it as a reference. But when I finally decided to just to actually do the meshes on stream, I was like, okay, I'll just do everything from scratch anyway. And plus, you don't know, you don't know where or how the mesh was made. Like, there's some. It's kind of problematic using other people's meshes because if they were made using a cracked copy of the program and there's a way and if there's a way that people can find that out, like I won't be able to use the mesh for anything other than a reference. So instead of just having to worry about anything that could come with using other people's assets that could possibly be stolen, you just be safe and just use your own assets or make your own. So that's what I'm doing here. But if you just want to see what something looks like, I guess it's fine. But I would rather just make my own and just avoid, going down that hill. Yeah, it's okay. We're getting a basic shape going. It don't look too bad, for a first attempt. It's like no, no nothing. It's just literally just a basic shape of a boot. That's what we are aiming for. Over time, we're gonna get more details in there, and we're going to make them look like boots eventually. I don't know how I'm gonna do the shoestrings. Maybe I'll just carve those in. Like I said, it doesn't have to be hyper accurate, but just good enough. Good enough to at least fit with this mesh. The mesh looks somewhat realistic, so I should at least try to have the boots match that level of realism at the very least. Okay, are we flat down here? It's a very weird phrase to say. uh, Down where you might ask, and my reply would be down here. What I could have done was I'll smooth all the stuff out later. You saw how smoothing things out goes. Actually, you know what? If I smooth out, what's it? I'm gonna use the actual brush and lower the strength. I should be able to smooth them out enough to where it doesn't deform or melt the polygons. Might be a little too weak. I'm just trying not to mess up the shape here. You see it's already shrinking. That could be a good thing because if they are too big, then we can get it down to a proper size without having to adjust it later. And the top here, the top is starting to look a little more straight. So we might not have to fix this when this is done. I might have prematurely uh worried about that, even though it's a little dip there, but that's easily fixable. We can just do this. Oh, no, we can't just do that. We can just do this then. Pull it out. It's sinking into the mesh a little bit. Which, like I said, this is the top of the boots. You probably won't see them when I put the pants on because I'm gonna try to get them to look like they're tucked in the boots because that's typically how a soldier will wear them. You could go the Metal Gear Solid 3 route and have them untucked. That's also a thing, but um, not everyone's going to wear it like that. Or in this case, there's no one telling you to. There's no one telling this character to conform with the uniform codes or whatever. But like it would be in real life. But um, we're gonna go with tucked in on this. I don't know why there's a polygon sticking out right there. Oh, it might have been because I pulled it out. Let's see. Oh, that's still weird. It's still out there. All right. Okay. How about scrape, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you just get down in there. You think you're just gonna poke out right there on that boot right there? No, that's not gonna happen. Not on my watch. Oh, we got another one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, let's try to flatten the bottom a little bit more because I want this as flat as possible. It's like trying to smooth out something that won't be smooth. Smooth out like a bump in a carpet or something. But that's looking pretty flat, so that's good. We're gonna get it flatter as we remesh it, as we continuously remesh it over time. The shape of the boot is somewhat okay. We have to bring the toes up a little bit more because they don't. I don't. Yeah, they just don't touch the ground. So we got to bring them up. I wouldn't say there's something that I've noticed that I didn't notice. It's probably something that I've forgotten because it's been so long since I wore these types of boots. I just forgot, that the toes don't actually touch the ground for whatever. And it's just made to curl up like that. And maybe that's to prevent it from creasing too much in the top, but that's gonna happen anyway. I've seen plenty of that. So I actually don't know the reason why they curl up like that, but what I do know is that they do curl up, and we're going to try to simulate that in our mesh. Bring out the back a little bit more. Thank you, realness. I'm trying to make them look like boots. They appear to be getting there slowly but surely. I was a little worried when I started this. I was like, I don't know how long I'm gonna have to struggle before we get to something. I'm glad that they're it's actually not as bad as I anticipated this would go. Going smoothly. But I still want to keep drumming out meshes even when I'm working on the boring stuff off stream. So that way we can become proficient at it and do these faster as a result. So apparently the reason boots curve at the toe is because of ergonomics. Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to jack up your feet because that'll be the first thing to go. And once that goes, everything else will go. If you ever have problems with your back, first thing to check would be your shoes. It's easier to walk with the curved toe versus flat. Yeah, I can actually, you know what? That actually makes sense. I feel like, having worn them for so long, I feel like that if they were flat, it would feel like they'd be weighed down. I think they would have like a very weighed down, uncomfortable feel to them. And you don't want that, especially if you have to walk in them a lot. Definitely don't want that. They're already going to be like heavy. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to like because when you're pushing off of your foot and they don't curve, that's gonna mess like that's gonna screw up your walking. So yeah, now that you say that, yeah, I guess that does make sense. I just never really thought about it. They do look large, but they are large. I mean, it's no, it's not that they do look large on people's feet. I think that's normal. They're not clown shoes large, but they do make your feet look bigger, and I just don't want them to make. I just don't want them to look like clown shoes. I guess another. I mean, what's like a typical clown shoes? Typical clown shoes length, like another 6 inches or so. I don't know, but these look about normal. I know they look big, but they actually do look that big. It's easier to walk with the curves. So, oh yeah, you already said that. My bad. I already read that. I don't know why that looked like a new comment. Anyways, I'll flatten the top a little bit more. To be honest, clown shoes kind of look just like long combat boots. Yeah, depending on someone's shoe size, some people's boots do look like clown shoes. Like if they were like a really big, like I say, like if Shaq wore combat boots, they would look like clown shoes on him, definitely. Because he's got like what a size like 14, 15. He's like 7'11" or something like that. I don't know. They would definitely look like clown shoes on him and on everyone else too. Okay, I never realized it before, but that's probably why they use work boots in most media instead of actual combat boots. Yeah, they do. They are large. They definitely make. I mean, the only time I saw someone who was like they had to have been like at least it was a girl. She had to have been at least like just over 4 feet. She was the shortest person I have ever seen. Uh, that's not like a dwarf. Maybe they I don't know. Maybe I don't know the classification like the you know she looked like a normal person, but she was very short. Like she was very short, and she was wearing boots, and her boots looked really small. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Those were definitely the smallest boots I've ever seen. They were like almost like shoes, but they were shaped like boots. It was like a Burger King, you know. If you ever seen the Burger King's entire body, like have you seen Sneak King, and he has those little boots on, it looked like that. I was like, that's what they look like in real life. I'm not making fun. I'm just, that's just what they reminded me of. She's wearing Sneak King boots, or was it Katamari? Something, how they did the little shoes, the little shoes, or the guy, the Song of Storms guy from Ocarina of Time. These little curved up boots. That's what they look like. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, that's just what I'm saying here, right? That's I'm not, you know, I'm go around slaying people's shoes or anything. I'm just trying to give you a mental picture. The closest thing I could describe them to was that, especially since they have all the little design, like the little ridges. You can see the ridges from the side on certain boots. It just made them look even smaller because everything was small on there. All the details were small. Everything was small. All right, let me try to see if I can get the soles on the side there. Poor girl, Sneak King feet. Yeah, she was very short. And this is the wrong brush. I just pulled the front to the side there. Do we want to do inflate, or do we want to? I haven't had a lot of success with this brush, so if I do this, what happens? What happens if I do that? Nothing. Okay, cool. We're gonna go with that brush then. See, I just need to lower it just a little bit. What I want to do is I want to create a ridge here and get the soles to come out and then start making edges for that sole. Gotta check every side here, make sure I'm not messing anything up, because sometimes that happens. I don't know. Some things that shouldn't be affected gets affected in a way that it's not gonna make your stuff look good. Like I know if I use for some reason if I use the clay brush here, okay, maybe I have enough polygons now. I don't know. Okay, what if I did this? I'm just screwing around at this point. Okay. Okay, what if I did this? Okay, it's not doing what it was doing before, so I'm guessing I didn't have enough polygons, and that's why I was doing that. But now it's not doing it. People still play Sneak King. They were just giving copies of that out when it was in Burger King, and it was like what was that Xbox, the first Xbox game? Not the first Xbox game, but the first game that was on the first Xbox. You get a free copy of Burger King. I guess you just sneak around. I'm sure you could still find it somewhere, maybe on eBay or something. Isn't there a popular Sneak King Sneak B run? Yeah. Yep. That's how I found out people were still playing that because people still speed run it. Yeah. Okay, it's starting to get a little. I'm starting to run out of polygons here, so we're gonna have to remesh this. We have to establish the soles, and then we gotta, and then we have to put a corner, like an edge, on the top of the sole, and then start sculpting the part where it's round and it goes into that edge, into an angle, sort of around the boot, basically. Same thing with the back. Like it'll be curved here, and then it'll stop at a ledge, and then it'll be an angle, and it'll be more like a round angle. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that shape. I guess it would be like a cylinder, like a cylindrical shape. Yeah, but with an angle. So not really rectangle. A rectangle, but it's a round. It would be round up front here. I don't know. That's basically what I'm going for. Let's go down one. I'm gonna go a little bit further. I know it. I had to start late this morning. I couldn't be helped. I had to start late this morning, but I'll go an extra, a little bit longer here. I don't know how long. I'll go a little bit longer for the time being. Getting back into the swing of things. Oh, I have to hit remesh, of course, in order for it to remesh. I'm gonna save it too. All right, so we're at. Yeah, I'm not sure who plays it, but uh, that must have been where I've seen it, like a GDQ or something. All right, let's do this again, like so. Oh, I didn't get a full front view either, but I have enough information here to not need that. So we're gonna go on. But tomorrow I'll get a front view. Since this part of the boot is off the ground, you're going to see the entire rubber edge where the sole starts right there in the front, and a little bit of the. You'll see a little bit of the soles at the bottom, the grips at the bottom too. I feel like I need even more polygons to be honest. Um, get about half of that. Oh wait. Let me get a bigger brush here. I just gotta keep that shape there. I keep seeing that this shape, the front of the boot, kind of wants to dent in here. That might be from me smoothing it out, but we got to make sure that we stay on top of that. Honestly, if I can get the shape and it's a low amount of polygons, I might not even do a retopology of it. I might just leave it like that because it's only at 4K and that's still pretty low. So I said it don't have to be hyper detailed. I can work with just they look like boots good enough. I can work with that. Uh I need to work on the soul a little bit more. Let's draw sharp. Let's see if I can make the corners now. Will they let me? No. Gotta go a little bit lower than that. That didn't work. That didn't work. All right. Yeah, I might just need more polygons for what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I'm trying. Yeah, I might just need to increase the polygons some more. Hmm. Looking at my options here, there's got to be something else I can work on in the meantime because oopsies, I've got a problem there. I may have to pull this out a little bit more. Oops. Good news is the first four characters are going to be wearing this uniform, so I might be able to get away with copy pasting this uniform on four different characters and then just adjusting it to their body size. I hope. I'm going to attempt to do that. All right, let's see if I can. Wait, hold on. We don't want that to. We don't want to deform it to the point where it's going in the mesh there. I just want to bring the boots out a little bit so I could sculpt them without having to without clipping into the mesh. And I just want to draw in the tongue of the boot. So I'm trying to do, but it looks like I might need more polygons for that too. All right, well, let me fix the front here. Make sure that stays round. But I also want to keep the outline of the go down one. We go down one. I might not be. I might need to get a little bit more polygons on this. Okay. Maybe that will help. See something real quick. Oops. Just gonna go around here and try to continue to try to get that shape out a little bit more. I'm gonna go around the sides. You have to make it more like a square. Right now, it's just like a sharp edge. Excuse me. Okay, so we need to flatten. I wanted to pull out enough so I could flatten the side like that and have an angle, have like a natural angle from doing that, but it does not seem to be working. And this part here needs to be more square-ish. See if I can fix that. We're gonna work through this. Hmm. I feel like I just need to keep remeshing this until I can do what I want to do. 7,000 polygons isn't enough for this level of detail that I'm trying to put into this boot. I'm trying to work with as few polygons as possible. That's why I'm a little reluctant to increase the size of this. That was like one of the first things I did when I started doing sculpting is I just kept remeshing it over and over, and the next thing I know, when I was done, I had like 60 million polygons. And you really can't import something of that size to anything really, unless you have like a supercomputer or something like that. I don't know. I'm not even sure if there's anything that in a video game that uses that many polygons. That's usually like the totality of a video game, right? If you like, well, I guess the main character would be more rendered than everything else, and then you have all the low rendered NPCs, and you have the environment. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I guess that would be like with MMO sides, right? Usually, like a million polygons is like a zone, and MMOs have multiple zones. So I guess a MMO could have like 60 million polygons rendered at once, right? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the numbers for something like that, but it seems plausible to me. Maybe it's not though. I don't know. These souls aren't looking great, but maybe we can recover them like we did with the top of the boot here. Maybe somehow we can get them in line. I wanted to get that shape going. If I could just get like a ridge around the boot and then flatten the side of that ridge, then really all I would have to do is just like etch in the little grips in here, and that part of the boot will be done, and then I can just do the tongue, and then whatever wrinkles would be in the boot, and maybe the shoestrings. I don't the boot strings. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I'm pretty sure that I could put like a skilly cylinder. It doesn't have to be like actually looped in the boot, you know. Just give it a simulation that it's there and it's tied, or just not do that at all and tie it in myself. Probably just have find a texture that has shoestrings, a shoestring texture, and just texture it that way and just leave it. I just want to stay on the low side of polygons. So, because I like one of the things I mentioned this before. One of the things that I want to do in the future is I want to do some animation, some 3D animation projects, and I want to make sure that these polygons are as low as possible so I can render them quicker. I have a 4090, but I haven't really tested the rendering on a 4090 yet. I did some light rendering on my streaming computer, the one that you're viewing me on. This is through a 20 or A 2070 Super is on my streaming computer. I have a 4090 on this computer here that I'm displaying. I'm using a dual stream setup, but I haven't rendered anything on the 4090 yet. I'm pretty sure it will be better, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yes, I want to keep the polygons low so that way I can still render things faster. Righty then. This is a little crooked. I just jacked it up. I wanted to naturally create that flat surface around the boot, but maybe I went about it the wrong way. So now I'm just course correcting. Right here should be rounder, but now see, it's instead of it being an angle and then a round part, it's an angle and then a slant and then a round part. We want to fix that. That's basically what I'm trying to do right now. That's where I'm at. My instincts are telling me that just to remesh it again, but I'm trying to be very, very frugal with polygons right now. So the second that I can't manipulate anything anymore is when I normally remesh. Like when I start this, like when I try to pull something and it doesn't pull too well anymore, like it starts getting sharp and angular. That's usually a good indicator that it's time to remesh it, and I'm not at that point yet. So that's why I'm like a little reluctant to do it. I want to keep pulling this down because we flattened it, and pulling it out will make it round. So we'll be kind of undoing our work a little bit if we keep doing it that way. When you straight, I'm gonna keep this flat. The flatter we keep this, the less we'll have to do when we get to the bottom of the foot. We don't flatten it too much because our mesh's feet will show through the bottom there. And don't know how. Yeah, we may have to remesh it a few more times just to etch the boot design in there. Even though we probably don't even have to do that, but like I said, I want to try to do everything I can in practice, so that way things like this won't be a problem when I actually do have to sculpt the boot and make it look like a boot. I don't want to keep doing shortcuts. When I originally was doing designs for my characters without 3D meshes, I felt like I was doing a lot of I was taking a lot of shortcuts because I was so excited to like get to the art part after writing the story. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just worry about that later, or I'll just do like a side portrait here and a front portrait, and then just move on to the next character, and not even do the full turnaround character concept. I was doing things like that, and I felt like I was already starting to create bad habits, so I'm trying not to do that. Now we've gotten to the point where we're like, okay, we want consistency here, so let's have consistent references for our characters, so that way the art in the webcomic is not like a radical change in a short amount of time. Because if I just draw something, if I keep drawing things over and over, I'm gonna want to do it better. So that will force the radical change that I don't want in a comic. When you look at a comic over time, any comic by one person, especially like if it's a web comic, you're going to see the art change over time, right? But this is usually over a long period of time. There's no avoiding that. But every time I draw something, I always want to try to do it better, and I'm trying to like limit myself from doing that. So you can have the consistency and still, put a lot of effort into it. I think so. I'm trying to avoid shortcuts, and I know like a lot of people will use shortcuts for comics because they want to get their pages out on time. Like if they are doing a webtoon and they gotta meet a deadline, right? Because they're getting paid, and shortcuts in that scenario, of course, you kind of need to do that, right? But we don't have to worry about that. This is just like a personal project. So I want to try to do everything that I can and just do it, but just do it faster. That's going to be my attempt, my approach to this webcomic. Is just to try to make it as good as possible and make and do it quickly. So without having to take shortcuts. I mean, if I have to take a shortcut, there's I want to do it sparingly. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's just something that I want to attempt to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off, but we'll see. I know I can do something within a day. I can probably do a daily upload, but again, we're going to see because my process over the years has changed. I've done a piece in a day before, but I'm not exactly using the same process here anymore for digital art and then there's the 3D stuff. So I mean, I can't do that in a day. There's no way. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. Normally it takes me about a week or two to sculpt. I think I sculpted this in 2 weeks, right? But I was only doing it on stream for the most part. Off stream, I could probably do something in a week or so. But but when it all comes down to actually doing pages, we're going to find out exactly what we need to do after having done it. Ooh, might That's a lot of true love making. Why do I have the 30-minute version? Holy crap. You don't even hear that song when you're playing the game unless you just leave it on the sound test. I need to change that. Yeah, what the heck? It's just going. It just kept going. I got some Metal Gear ones there extended too. I needed some of this stuff was on a workout playlist. Like I would just have like when I had a Zoom, I put that stuff on and just leave it on and just get depending on what it was, like if it was like the Arsenal Gear Guts, that would pump me up because I really like that song. It's like go shoot for like 30 minutes straight. But we're just I don't think that's viable for a stream. Maybe it is. I don't know. You guys let me know if you want to hear more extended tracks. I can easily put them in, but after a while, I feel like okay. It's time to change the station a little bit here. I can barely hear the music. Someone else had a Zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They didn't last very long, unfortunately. I think I still have it somewhere. It just doesn't work. The hard drive just fails after a certain amount of time. You try to play something and it just gets stuck, and then the hard drive is like on a perpetual boot cycle, and it just kills itself. I kept it because I want to attempt to recover the data at some point. I got movies, and I think when it finally died on me, I was trying to watch Tropic Thunder on it. But my old song playlists are on there, and I don't remember every song. It's like 48, 40, 72 hours of music. So uh, I don't remember every song that I had. So recovering the data would help me get those songs back. And some songs I can't. Some of the songs that I do remember I can't find on YouTube anymore because they were like done by independent people. And I guess at some point they just took their stuff down. They were better than iPods in my opinion. You just had to deal with the shame. Yeah, if you always yeah, people did make like people with iPod. It didn't happen when at my work. Everyone had a Zune at my work, but well, not everyone, but people had Zunes or iPods. But when I went to in different jobs and gyms or whatever, people would be like, "Man, you got a Zoom?" Like, "Yeah, I got a Zoom. What? So what? It does the same thing." But yeah, Microsoft they're okay at software, but hardware is not their best. It's not their strong suit. Just leave it at that. Almost bought a 360 as well, an Xbox 360, and then everyone I knew that had one for a while, they started failing one by one, all within the same week. And I just said, you know what? Maybe I'll just save my money on this. Maybe I'll just wait for a PS3. It's just at the time that PS3 didn't have any good games out. So I said, okay, I'll just wait for Metal Gear Solid 4. And that's when I bought my PS3. Is when the Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. And they had the little bundle. And it was backwards compatible. And it was 500 gigs. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. I got something to play. And I can play old stuff that I already had. What's not to like? Otherwise, I would have had a 360. You know, if they would have actually work, they wouldn't fail and give you the red ring. I'd be a 360 man. Yeah, I like the Zoom. They just don't last, unfortunately. I bought two Zooms. The second one lasted way longer though, and it was used. Like I bought the Zoom off of someone, and then it lasted 5 more years for me. My Zoom, like I say, I bought that Zoom in 2008, and it lasted until 2013. 2013 before I was about to get a job in retail. It failed like a couple of months before I got that job. And I wish I had that Zoom still when I was in that job because it was like it was like warehouse stuff. So it'd have been nice to have a Zoom then, but I didn't have a Zoom. So and I didn't want to get another one because I was like, okay, these things don't really last, so there's no point in me getting another one. And at that point, people they weren't even selling Zooms at that point anymore. I think by 2012, 2013, you didn't really see Zooms like that anymore. They were like used. They weren't like in stock anymore. I forgot that Xbox 360 was even a thing. Yeah, yeah. I saw them in a store. They weren't like in not in a regular store, but in a store. Yes, and my that was my first Zoom I bought in the store. That didn't last very. And then there was like another Zoom. There was like I had a fat Zoom and I had the skinny Zoom. The fat Zoom didn't last long at all, but the skinnier Zoom that actually lasted a little bit longer. But I bought the skinny Zoom off of somebody else. The things that I've seen people do to try to get their 360 to work after the red ring of death, it was ridiculous. But holy crap, it actually did work. It was hilarious. Like the people that I worked with, they were really big into like a lot of people were Guitar Hero and Rock Band and all that, and they were just like playing the crap out of these of these consoles. Okay, like just jamming out like and eventually the Xbox 360s would die. Yeah, that's what they were doing. Realness. Yeah, these fools were turning it. They would turn it on. They would wrap it in a blanket and then just leave it on, and it would work. It would work after a while. Like you would do that until you see there would be this big warning message, overheating warning message, and then they would unwrap it and turn it on, and the red ring would go away, and it would just keep going. And I'm like, oh, that works. Okay, amazing. It went for years. They had to keep doing it, but it went for years beyond where it should have. We were in dusty areas, places where electronics shouldn't be, and already PS3's never I never seen anybody have a problem with PS3 like in dusty environments, but 360s did not last long. Like way less than it would if you were just playing it here in this type of environment, like in a normal environment. But yeah, they kept wrapping it in blankets and it just kept working. They would just revive it. Just keep going. That shit lasted. That lasted the oh man. It just kept going. I was impressed. I was like, wow. I was like, who the heck came up with that? Had to have been somebody who knew electronics pretty well. I don't know how they knew, but they knew. They figured it out somehow. At a glance it was like you're just gonna damage it further if you just first gen PS3s actually got it worse than the 360s, but nobody noticed. Yeah, and you know why I think I have a feeling that why nobody noticed. It's because um people didn't really get a lot of PS3s, first gen PS3s, because there was no games to play on them. Pretty much every backwards compatible PS3 is broken or will be broken soon. I still have my PS3. I gotta check and see if it still works. I actually gave my PS3 away to someone who passed away recently, and I got it back. So I need to see if it works. But I can play Metal Gear Solid 4 again. It's just that all the games that I had on PSN, I wiped my entire system before I gave it out, and I can't. And they shut down the store since then, so I don't have those games anymore. That's the only thing. But I have the physical copies still. Oh yeah, it's cool, realness. I appreciate it. But yeah, but I did keep Metal Gear Solid 4. I didn't want to give that out. I don't know why. I was like, oh no, maybe one day I'll if there is no other way I can play this game, I can just buy another PS4 off of EA or PS3 off of eBay or something. And I thought that the next console PS4 would be backwards compatible like PS3 was, but it wasn't. So they decided not to do that anymore. So now but I got the PS3 back, so I can at least if it still works, because I gotta test it, play Metal Gear Solid 4 again. If they don't put it on Volume 2 of the Master Collection. See, this is the type of surface that I want on around the sides of the boot, like that. Because then I can put an edge where it rounds in yet, but that's gonna have to be at a later date. That Volume 2 needs to come out already. Yeah, I'm waiting to see if they release Volume 2. This is what I'm gonna do, right? I'm going to instead of getting 3 from Volume 1, since they're going to come out with Delta, I'm probably just going to get Delta. But if Volume 2 has 4, I'm getting that. I don't care what state it's in. I'm going to get it. And I don't know if there's anything else I would play in a Volume 2. I'm not even sure what would be in a Volume 2. What? Are they going to put portable ops in it? Acid 1 and 2. I guess I could play those again. I don't know. I don't really feel strong one way or another. Honestly, you should get Volume 1 regardless. It's such a good package. Yeah, I know. I know. Um, I am not skipping Volume 1. It's just um I don't know. I'm not in a rush to play it right now. I don't know why. I do want to play through the series again. So if that happens before Volume 2 comes out, I'll definitely get it for that at least. I'll do it on stream. I am rusty, so I guess, expect me to get jacked up a little bit, but and I'm not as good. I'm not as good as I was when I was playing them back to back to back to back 24/7. But we'll figure it out. It won't take me long to get to that point again, especially for Ground Zeroes and 5, because those are a little more fast paced. And I didn't play with the reflex mode, so you can expect some improvisation there. I didn't play with the reflex mode, but I was able to get, like, when there were some times where if I got spotted, I was able to take them out before it actually counted as an alert without the reflex. So I was very proud of that. But I have to work up to that again. I probably can't do that now. I feel that, yeah. I'm probably not gonna be like noob level, but I am expecting to make some mistakes because I haven't played it in a while. Yeah, I'm satisfied with the basic shape for now. I just need to get the boot around. I feel like a dummy when I play on MGS for the first time in years. Yeah, man, it's been so long since I played 1, 2. The last time I played 3 was the HD collection. I played the HD collection. And when 99 was having when he was complaining about the Ground Zeroes controls, I fired up Ground Zeroes briefly, and yeah, he was right. There's just something off about it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I got used to Phantom Pain, and I think I told him this already. But yeah, there is something. There is it. Ground Zeroes didn't feel the same to me. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know if it's because it's the PC version and I played it on console, but yeah, the controls felt weird as heck to me. Like I was getting caught. I was getting like I couldn't. I was having trouble holding people up, grabbing them. I had to play a lot more cautious. It wasn't like when Ground Zeroes came out, man. I was in and out of that base so fast. The first time I played it, it was I beat this story in 40 minutes, and I even found like most of the emblems because well, not well, I don't know. I found some of them. I remember finding some of them. I don't remember how many emblems I found in the first try, but some of them I happened to run into. The one in the dumpster, the one that they show in the cutscene at the start. I found that one, and now the one that's off to the side in the tent. I didn't find that one, or on the shelf. Maybe I found the one on the shelf. The one in the sewer I definitely found because that's how I snuck in. I snuck into the base through that sewer, and I happened to come across it. It was in the bars or whatever. I got lucky on that one because if I didn't go that way, I wouldn't have found it. But I figured, it's a sewer. I can crawl in and not get seen. Why not? Why not go that way? But yeah, there was something off about. Yeah. I wasn't. Whatever they did in Phantom Pain, it's definitely better. It's definitely more fluid. The controls were than in Ground Zeroes. I never noticed that because when Phantom Pain came out, I didn't play Ground Zeroes again after that. So I really didn't, and it had been some time, so I didn't notice the difference in the controls. It just felt like riding a bike again, or something like that. Oh wow, yeah, we don't want to do that. I definitely should have got a front view so I could see how high the soul lifts up like that. And I definitely want to do a smaller brush here. Could this work in my favor, maybe? Luckily, was it 99 on mouse and keyboard too? Oh, was he? He may have been. I don't know. I forgot. But I noticed a difference playing because I play on controller on that game. I don't see myself playing on a keyboard with Metal Gear, but I have a controller for that, and it definitely felt it didn't feel the same as it did playing on PS3. No, I played it on PS4. Did not. No, it was PS3. Ground Zeroes. Yeah, I played it on PS3. I'm sorry, I had to remember when I got a PS4 because I hardly played that. When I got a PS4, I played The Last of Us, I played Arkham Knight, and that's it. I have God of War and Spider Man for PS4, and I never played them. And now I have them for PC, so I'm probably not gonna play them now. I just said, you know what, I'm not getting any more consoles. Yeah, it's just PC is just better, man. I don't know. I was averse to it at first. Like if there was something that was ported to PC from a console, I would just play the console version because a lot of controllers back then. Playing a controller on PC wasn't optimal. Just say that. And I had Logitech controllers. Like I didn't have anything good, so I had the experience of playing on Logitech controllers as a reference point. I'm getting half of a PC next paycheck, but I'm still 50-50. Yeah. I mean, if they're just going to release the console exclusives on PC anyway, I mean, then I don't see the point of getting a console anymore. And whatever PC exclusives are left, I can do without. Like I wanted to play Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Is that what you say? Is that how you say it? Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Whatever. You know the game. I was gonna play that game, and I wanted to play that game, but it was a console exclusive. Tsushima. Okay, that's what I thought. I got confused for a second there. Um, that game is, yeah, it looks great. I really like the the very the Harakiri or Yojimbo influence where the guys just they're just standing like right in front of each other, and then he just next thing you know the sword is out and the guy's dead. I was like, it's like the Red Dead quick draw but for the sword. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like, oh, you gotta beat the other guy to the draw. I don't know if the player can die from that, but I'm going to assume. But yeah, it's like that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I want to play that. But then I found out it was a console exclusive. I was like, oh well, never mind. I'm not gonna buy a console for that, for just that. Yeah, and now that's on PC. So I'm like, what now? Then why get a console if they're just gonna release all the exclusives later? Horizon was an exclusive. Now that's on PC. God of War was an exclusive. Now that's on PC. The Last of Us PC. Um, at this point, the only thing that I'm waiting on is the entire Uncharted series because I that's one series I missed. I should have played those. I never played them though. If they release that whole series on PC one day, I'm on it. I did like those types of games, like those adventure games. Because I started when I first got my PlayStation, I was really into Tomb Raider, and for some reason I just didn't play Uncharted, and that's like right up my alley. So hope I'm doing this right. Okay, yeah, that's what I was looking for right there. That's exactly what I was looking for. It's finally coming. It's finally coming through. Yes, yes. Now see, we got the flat edge on the side and the corner up top. It's happening. We're doing it, Peter. It's a little too big on that side, but we can fix that. So we can fix. Yeah, and then they had what was it? There's another game now. What's it called? Rise of the Ronin. I want to play that too. I don't really care about Stellar Blade that much. It looks good, but I haven't really seen enough to make me go, "Oh, I really want to play that." It's really just about waifu. But if it does come out for PC, then it ain't gonna be a problem. uh, I still gotta play Near also. Near Automata, but that is on PC now. I just haven't gotten it. It's on my wish list though. When that drops low enough, I'll get it. Stellar Blade's demo is great. Yeah, it looks good. Looks great. I haven't seen much of it, but yeah, I have the actual game, but haven't started yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me know how that. Let me know if that's worth getting. I'm sure it will be, right? But just in case, just in case, I still gotta finish Yakuza Zero, man. What am I doing? Oh man, I really like that game too. I don't know, I've been really heavy into art, so that's why I haven't really been beating a lot of games. But if something really calls out to me, I'll play it. But yeah, I still gotta finish Yakuza. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, dude, don't finish Yakuza Zero. Well, that's where I'm at right now. I haven't finished it yet. Every time I play it, I go right into the mini games and and like 100% all the mini games, and then by the time like at some point doing that, something else comes along and I get distracted or whatever. It has nothing to do with the game though. The game is great. I really love the mini games, except Afterburner. I hate that game. I don't like I don't like Afterburner at all. That is well, and that's only because it's difficult. Honestly, it's not because it's a bad game. It's very difficult to you have to get a certain high score on that game, and it is not easy to getting that high score. And I did it twice already, and that's the one mini game, the Sega arcade games. That's the one game that I do not like doing in that entire game, and it's a game. It's a game. It's its own game. It's not related to Yakuza Zero, other than it's Sega. As soon as you finish 0, you'll want to do 1, 2, 3. And years later, you've only played Afterburner. Afterburner is the one. I hate doing that game, Afterburner. I can do the racing game, which is that Outrun. I can do that. I can do the other one. I think I know race, that one has a high score challenge. Afterburner has a high score challenge. I think there was another game. But Afterburner is the only one that's not fun for me to do. Not fun at all. Not one bit. Fantasy Zone, I don't remember that one. But I did the claw machine. I was doing the fishing and the racing when I left off last, and I'm pretty sure I don't have that data anymore. At first, the batting cage was challenging for me, but then I got used to it. I was able to smash them out of the park, get all the good, the good holes or whatever, the good goals. And then it was the bowling, the split shot, the 7-10 split bowling. I was like, what? And I figured out how to do that. And then it was the trick shots with the pool, but I figured that out. And then Mahjong was the easy. Mahjong is probably my favorite. That one they make it so that it seems at first that it might be challenging, but you don't have to get the hands all in one go. You can build up to the whatever it was, their equivalent of the royal flush. I forget what it's called. Yeah, Mahjong is easily my favorite. You make so much money, and then when you spend all that time doing the mini games, and you get robbed by Mr. Shakedowns, and then you gotta learn how to fight. And then you gotta get your money back, and then you can farm him, and it just snowball from there. And then yeah, I've only beaten the first boss in that game so far. Mahjong is so weird to learn. Once you get it, it's so good. Yep. Um, the chess, was it Shogo? Shogo's okay. I don't feel strongly about Shogo, but it's all right. You can get that easily because it's a lot like chess. It just has some extra pieces here and there that chess doesn't have, but it's mostly chess. But yeah, I got cheap. Yeah, you get trillions of yen, and that. Yeah, I figured that out because man, I walked out of that pool hall with so because when you do the bets or whatever, and when you do all the mini games in the beginning, you get so much money, and then Mr. Shakedown is there, and then it's not hard to figure out, and then you can start like just basically exponentially multiplying your money with him. You just don't let him grab you. Basically, you can get all your money back and then some. Um, it got to the point where I was letting him take my money and then taking it back because he'll multiply it. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I maxed well, how as far as you can get in the beginning of the game in all of the available fighting styles. That's what I did. And the one that I used the most was the pink one, the one with the Dempsey roll. But I really like the just the man mode one where you just slam couches on people. I really like that one because it's just so ridiculous. Well, they're all ridiculous. You just basically just kill people. There's moves where you basically kill that guy, but they're okay, I guess. Yeah, brawler. Yeah, you just take the damage. You just destroy them. Just smash them into a wall, whatever. Just pick up a bike and just destroy them with it. Yeah, I'm going to stop it here. Yeah, combo into someone and slapping into someone. Yeah, exactly. We have a basic shape here. I got what I kind of got a good starting point what I wanted. We're gonna work on that. That needs to be fixed. Just the corners there, but for the most part, this is what I want to do. But around the entire boot, put some edges there, and then we got to make it so that it's even around the entire side. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching this stream today. I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming by. Anyone watching the VOD or in the archive on YouTube, I appreciate you as well. I will be back tomorrow, and we're going to finish or continue on doing the boot. And if you are free and you stop by, I will see you then. Okay. So until then, take care. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow morning if nothing comes up.